A very warm welcome to the Predator Epbf European Pool Championships. This is a winner qualification match in the Straightpool division between Germany's Felix Vogel and from France, Fabio Rizzi. It's a race to 100 points. And in the commentary booth we have Graham Hickman and myself, Tim the Reuter, trying to call the shots for you. Welcome, Graham. Welcome back.
Thanks, Tim. Looking forward to this one. Should be a very interesting match indeed between these two guys. Yeah.
Well, I do think so. I mean, most of the people are starting to know Felix's game. Obviously, he's won the Stella Artois Open a couple weeks ago, I believe 2 weeks ago. So that's a sign of good form. And also has been beating a lot of good players in the last year or so, 2 years. So everybody's starting to expect a lot more from him. And Fabio Rizzi, a former semi-finalist, I believe, in the European Championships in Treviso. I think he beat Niels 8-7 in the 8-ball in the quarterfinal. So definitely two very capable players. Just slightly too thick on the break shot there from Rizzi. So definitely options for Felix.
Yeah, exactly. Good call there. Felix is definitely on form, and he's no stranger to the European Championship scene from a junior perspective. I think he's won gold in all disciplines apart from the straight pool. He's been pretty consistent. Rizzi as well, consistent wise, just not getting as many medals, but still very dangerous. Yeah, like you say, it wasn't the best break off, so an early opportunity for Felix straight away.
Yeah, and as most of the people back home probably know, most of the German players, actually their favorite game is Straightpool. It's definitely a game that has been... Yeah, well, actually it starts from the very lower leagues. They play in, I believe, every division they have Straightpool. And there is tons of fans. So if you are at the European Championships playing for Germany in the Straightpool division, it means that you are capable of running 100 and out.
Yeah, definitely. And I was lucky enough to commentate on the earlier stream with Felix versus Mario He. Felix came out on top, but he was on a 94, going really strong, played into the stack, and then unfortunately scratched in the corner pocket. And thought Mario was going to pounce very quickly. He missed the ball and then just conceded because the balls were literally over the pocket. So a good first win for him. Shows he's no stranger to the big scene against the big players. Very confident young player. It's definitely going to be a big star for me. Tim, he's very dangerous, very cool and collective around the table, I have to say.
Yeah, I had a look at the draw, like you just mentioned. Both players have played 2 matches before this winner qualification. Fabio Rizzi beat Murat Fatayev and Saki Kanatlar. And Felix Vogel beat Edin Retsic and Mario He. So, a couple good wins. Of course, for most of the players, you would say everything starts from when the single elimination starts, when you know you play at a certain level, but still quite difficult draw for Felix, especially, I would say.
Yeah, I think somebody running into Mario on the loser side will not be too happy about that draw as well, but this is how tough the field is in these events. It's a very, very strong field with a lot of top players. Like you say, this is to get into the last 32 and into the, like you say, the business end.
Not too sure. Is it last 32? because the straight pool used to go to 16.
Yeah, I can check for you. I'm pretty sure. Goes to last 32. I will check that. You've got me thinking. Yeah, Sunday, last 32, last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final. So yeah, it must be to last 32.
Okay.
Plenty of pool yet left, Tim. Don't worry.
Okay. Glad to have more straight pool. I like this game, so let's see what we have here. Does have a break shot on the 5, so just has to make sure he opens up the 10-3 and then to get the 4 to the side pocket possibly. Did land a little bit funny. So
yeah, just needs a little bit of maneuvering from the right side of the table, because we got a quick glance there. The 2 balls where his hand is. Oh goodness! Just about to say they go to the bottom left pocket. So a bit of a careless one early.
yeah, after quite a shocking opening break from Rizzi, catching the ball too full and glimpsing off that top ball to the short rail, Felix only managed to make 8 balls. So maybe some early nerves. I mean, obviously there is more experience, I would say, with Fabio here, mentally and possibly about playing pool. But based on his look at the table, that 7 ball must not go. And with where the 15 is, it's not like it's easy to play shape right after. So you might have to try and do something wild, like make the 15 and try to go 3 rails, or
Big draw maybe, I
play
think.
super draw, pass the side and over, and then get on.
Not too
Oh,
bad.
I think he got on the 4. It's not a hanger, but if you can draw away from the scratch, possibly 2 rails, land in between the 7-6, you open up the 5.
You
Not
might
too
even be able
horrible.
You might even be able to kill it. Oh, he's playing 2 rails with a comeback up, I think.
Yeah, could also go center with left and go long rail and check it off the short rail.
Oh, he missed it by a mile. Early nerves. I have to say, Felix left him a little bit awkward on that stripe position, so he had to pull a bit of a shot out. So even though it was an uncharacteristic miss from Felix, didn't leave him in such an easy, straightforward position. Still felt he would have got that 4 ball, but big chance now. 2 for 1. Does he have a good break ball here, Tim? Maybe?
Well, I would
Just
say
a
the
little-
5. The 5 is pretty much available. I would never take the 5 now. I would definitely use a 5 ball.
Yeah, looked okay.
The only thing is, where do you play shape? Like, I like to go 2 rails to play the 4 on the side, or 1 rail and try to stay in the bottom of the 4. Just everything on the bottom. I think he's just okay. Could maybe go forward to play the 6 in the bottom left. Just gotta make sure he has angle to work with, so possibly top spin to go into the right long rail and out. Or is he playing a small bump on the 6?
Oh, you
No,
could just hold
he
it.
held it.
And I like this angle on the 6 ball because it's quite a good little just drift up. He's playing into the line of the angle he wants, so just, yeah. Little tap on the table. He knows he was a little bit fortunate to come back there, but that is the nature of the game. He has got a bit of a thin angle on this 5 ball, but means he can control the cue ball into the stack pretty well. Close proximity to each other as well, so pretty good shape, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the straight pool players, like the advanced straight pool players, they like these big angles because they feel whenever they just make the ball, the rack will split by itself, as the cue ball will have more energy left. It only transfers just a little bit of speed over on the 5, and all the other energy is still on the cue ball. So it opens the rack in general pretty nice, and it's just all about making the ball, and well, you're like a diamond away from it, so it should be fine. To where if you look at more beginning Straightpool players, they are so scared of missing the 5 ball that they are trying to get a little straighter, and then the impact on the rack is not enough. So I'm not too worried about opening the rack. I only watch the cue ball. He is playing with stun, so watch the cue ball. Oh, nicely controlled.
Yeah, they opened very nice. Focused on just the pot, like you said, and all the energy just erupted into the pack. So doesn't have too many balls up table, but it's nice to have them as safety balls if you need to move the cue ball a little bit.
Well, especially the spread. I mean, now it does look like it's wide open. There's still little work to do, but most of it is available. I do believe the 8 is already a break shot. So
yeah, it was just. Yeah, he might choose to bump, maybe. He has 2 balls.
I would run into the 13 and always have the 11-6 left. Probably would have liked to play more top spin and catch a piece of the 13 just to make sure you're not on the rail, but I mean, I don't think anybody's worried to have him shoot off the rail here on either the 11 or the 6.
Yeah, I think it's like what you said in the previous match we commented on, Tim. Going into balls and opening balls, it's nice to do it when you know you have that, if I can say, guaranteed ball on your next shot. Those are the kind of ones that are nice to take when you can, as quick as you can, when you've got more balls on the table. Leaving those to the end can run into lots of problems. So from now, all of a sudden, this table looks pretty good. I agree with you. I think the 8 ball's the break ball for me, so it's just about clearing the rest however he feels.
Well, things could be funny if the 9 doesn't go in the bottom left.
He still has 2 balls next to it though that he could use for the middle and the side if he wanted to. There's plenty of options.
Yeah, it's just easy to not get on a certain ball. When most of the pockets are blocked, things can get funny. Like now, I probably would have played shape to the 10 and get rid of the 9. Okay, let's see. 12. Is he playing for? Played for 1. But is straight or quite straight on the 1, so he's shooting now the 4 in the corner. I don't think he was playing for. No. He got so straight on this 1 ball. I just.
Yeah, maybe the 4. Like you said, he's a bit straight. But the longer he leaves it to get on that 10 ball or the 2 ball down the table, it just becomes a little bit more tricky. So yeah, it'd be nice for him to get there sooner rather than later. He could pop this 1 ball, leave a little bit of an off angle on the stripe and come off the 2 rails and come behind it. That's probably what he's thinking. Underside of the black, short rail, long rail, and come to the right side.
Well, I am a fan of going there right now, actually, but
he's playing it this way.
Off the 15.
Yeah, the good thing, he's got quite a margin of error for those 2 balls, so I'd be very surprised. The most important thing he has, he doesn't want to be low on the 2. Definitely wants to be high enough to control.
Well, he is crossing his positional area a little bit here, so pace is very important.
It's pretty good. Yeah, 10 ball, 2 ball, 9 in the side maybe, and just roll through for the break ball, Tim, you think?
Well, depends really. I think he could be straight on the 10.
Maybe.
And I would really like to take the 9 out. So possibly 10, 9 in the top corner, and then the 2 to get to the center of the table to get to the 8. Like, I might follow and shoot the 9 in the top right corner. He's shooting the 2. Now, if he lands straight enough, he could... So I'm not a big fan of stunning over to the left side. I'm not saying it's impossible, but most of the time on the slick cloth you find yourself stunning too much, and now you're on the high side of the 9, and then you might run into the 8. So when crossing over, you have to play perfect cue ball.
It's pretty good.
He has done really nicely there, but it's just small details that can easily go wrong. So he's taking care of the cue ball, but he has to do all that extra work because he's waiting that long till the end.
Yeah, that's always the danger. If you leave those kind of tricky moments to the end, it means that your position has to be even more perfect. And he wasn't perfect, but he made it work. I like what you said. Maybe he could have just played the 9 in the top just to make sure that was out of the equation, but look, he managed to solve the puzzle pretty well. And now he's back in good position for another break ball opportunity. Do you have a personal preference on which side you prefer to break from, Tim? Left or right side? Is there one side you prefer? Obviously left-handed versus right-handed.
I don't really think so. I mean, unless you're talking about reach, like maybe from one side of the table you might not be able to reach, but whenever you get the cue ball near the center of the table, I would say both sides are fine. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a big difference. You don't have to play with a lot of outside spin most of the time. Like, I try to avoid too much outside spin, or inside any spin actually, just top or low. So I don't think it's a big difference left or right. Looks like he's playing draw, bottom of the 3. Into the short rail and out. Yeah, this is the shot I mentioned the last match we did together. Like, sometimes when you're not too sure and you feel like when you play topspin you might scratch in the bottom corners, you might play with draw and play the speed to where if you go to the short rail it at least comes back out.
Yeah, for sure. Reminds me of watching Torsten, obviously another good German player. He likes to play that shot drawing off the pack. I can remember watching a few of his runs. He played that shot relentlessly, so maybe it's in the German genes of how he plays straightpool.
So this is what I like now too. Like, he's gonna shoot the 12. He's not going to fire at it. Like, he's just going to disturb the balls once more. You see, okay, he has tied up a couple balls there, but basically everything is open. The 5 looks like a break shot, so if he can open up the 11-3 as soon as possible, then I see no reason why he should not have 14 more points on the board.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I was just going to say, it's one of those positions with those 2 balls together. There's no real obvious balls that I think he can, unless he can do it from the 13. Maybe just, can you force it over? I don't know.
Well, you could go forward on the 13 and play the 6 and draw into the 3-11. Just all matters on the angle, I guess. I think this is too much. I think it's too much, yeah. But still, it's not like he has to do it real fast. I mean, maybe off the 7, but there's no backup ball anymore. So he picked away a couple balls, even though he could have done this earlier, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of like the 6 ball was an option. Maybe. It's okay. Yeah, he had enough angle to. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. So well judged, I think.
Yeah, I think this is also one of the reasons why I feel the Germans play so well in Straightpool, is that most of the bumps they play They are very deliberate. So he knew, okay, if I catch the left side of that 11-3, I'm either guaranteed to have the 3 or the 11. Even if he draws too far, he has the 14. So knowing where the balls are going, now suddenly it's not so tricky to open a certain cluster. Where other people, they go very firm or wild or a lot of spin, and they lose the cue ball or the balls, the object balls, and they find themselves in no man's land.
And do you find that is more from, well, it's probably a bit of both, straight pool experience or 8-ball experience? Obviously, when you
No,
have to...
I think it's mainly playing a lot of straight pool. Because how often did we draw that 7 ball full into the 3-11 and be dead froze, and now your run is over? Like, I'm guaranteed almost every pro player has had that in their life. And then
Yeah.
they start to think, okay, maybe I should have tried to catch the edge, you know? But you will find out the second you do it.
Yeah, it's just repetition, thousands of balls, many different racks, and that's what I like about straight pool as well, Tim. I think the game is so every rack, and we say this about 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, I get it, but straight pool, everything seems different all the time. Yes, you have break balls and you have to play for certain positions, but there's so many different things that can happen in any one rack. That's what makes it so interesting for viewing, I think.
Yeah, and it's one of the most complete games there is. If you look at almost every aspect of the game is in there, besides the break. Like the real pop break or power break. Like, of course, they have a opening break shot, but different.
Here's a crazy question for you. Have you ever seen a straight pool match where someone has nominated a ball from the break and tried to make it?
Well, yes, because I'd done it like recently. So, that was just in a local league, so that's different. But I mean, I used to know a player that basically did it always. But and also 1 year when they used to tap the tables for the straight pool event, the balls were so frozen, so perfect that Joshua Filler in the junior division, he ran like, I believe, like every match 75 out, because he would not think about any pattern. He would call the 11 ball in the corner, break like second ball break ish, and just keep clearing him.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
I have seen some of this stuff, but I mean, in general, just play shape and run the set. You know, it would be nice.
I guess from that moment with Joshua, then they changed tapping the balls to regular rack.
A lot of things have changed while he started playing.
Yeah, that's for sure. We also have no Joshua here for this event. I'm not sure on the story on that, but maybe this, how much you know, Tim, or if anything's with Federation or just conflicting schedules or different things. But normally he does, or he has done, played these events.
I mean, also nowadays we have so many events that I can understand people prioritize different. I mean, and also what is there, like for some federations there is a lot to win, and then for others there is not so much to win besides just the glory of the title, the medal, the cup, of course. So yeah, I mean, this is a sensitive subject, I would say, because it's not something you know per person.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of politics and various things going on. Not everyone is party to that information, but yourself, you've played in these events over the years as well, Tim.
Yeah.
How do you find the different multidiscipline over different days in terms of fatigue and focus and resetting your mind for a different game? How do you deal with that as a player? Is it pretty easy or a bit of adjusting?
No. You gotta. This is definitely one of the tougher events every year, I would say, joined with the Derby City Classic, and the Derby is more intense because you play like guaranteed 2-3 matches a day, which is not always the thing with the European Championships. So that's a little different. But basically, if you get like an average result of last 16 in all 4, you're playing non-stop, and besides that, you're trying to stay relaxed, maybe hit the gym, do some swimming, and then you don't know what other people's side things are there too. You know, some meditate, some like stretching, yoga, Pilates. They like gaming. I mean, everybody has their own thing, so your day is constantly full, over and over. So, I mean, if you have to do that 11 days in a row, I've seen people, and including myself, during like around day 6, day 7, they start to go mentally tilt because they are so low on energy and they did not take care of themselves. So this event, it's also an endurance contest.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's, you know, it's late nights and early mornings, not just the physical side, but I think you hit it on the head there, Tim, with the mental side, the wins, the losses, the focus, especially on games like this when you have to stay focused for prolonged periods. It's not just like a quick 9-ball rack where you're shorter focused and then stop and then start again. These kind of, definitely the straight pool requires your attention all the time. But yeah, he's a little bit off straight here. Can he force this in? Oh, just nothing.
Well, I do like the try. I just think he was trying to catch slightly the bottom of the 4, and hopefully getting the 4 and the cue ball out to the bottom of the rack. So let's see. It's really tough position because wherever you play safe to, you might leave the 4 or the 13, unless you can nick the 6 and bring the cue ball back where it is now, which is so low percentage. So I might either play the cue ball into the 14 and try to touch the rail with the 3 ball. Oh,
He called something.
it's
the couple.
Is he looking at the 9 here?
Yeah, I can see what he mean. The 9 ball looks pretty. Oh.
No, okay. He was trying to make for extra point, but look at the cue ball. It's a good shot there.
Yeah, but if it does go in, then he has the same problem, right? He still has to find.
Yeah, safe. True, but you could still play safe on the 14-3 possibly, or take a foul. Okay, yeah, so
these are
I was just gonna add, this is obviously the first day, but the 3rd match for both of them. So as you can see, Felix probably feeling a little bit low energy. That's why he's eating a small snack on the side. Started with 3 rack. No, it's not true. He had a run of 8, so like 2.5 rack for Felix.
Yeah, I guess it's so easy to just forget about eating to a degree if you're just playing in between matches from table to table, and it can hit you if you don't recharge yourself when you have the moment. So yeah, a lot of players will have snacks in. He's playing. It's called the 9 ball. Did he? He called something.
No,
yeah, I think he did.
Oh, maybe after 4. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't have to play the carom here. He could roll up on the 14 and push the 3 to the left long rail and wait. But he feels this is a big ball with right spin. Even if you hit cushion first, the 9 might still go.
Plus, I like this. There was a stripe there waiting as a bonus ball. He's a bit straight on it, but he can top this through off 2 rails, Tim, and leave a nice angle on that 10 ball. I think to open the balls a little bit. Yeah, he's lining it up.
He might even be able to go 1 rail and make sure he has good angle on the 10.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to fall too straight, obviously. You don't have too many balls to split the rack. No, you were right. 2 rails it is.
I think he still could have played 1 rail and been okay, but I think he's got a bit more control here. He's a little bit flat on the pack though when you go into it. So whether you try to run this with like running left-hand side and come off 3 cushions and back out, or do you just punch it in and?
Well, I probably would try to go into the 8. Like, you don't have to force the cue ball either. Like, just make sure if you can play stun and force it and kill the cue ball on the 2, and hopefully it splits nice. He drew the cue ball out. Yeah, that was risky. For a second I was thinking slight force follow, like stun follow, but wasn't laying too nice. Don't forget also, we are using a shot clock here, which definitely makes these kind of shots like this 14 a lot tougher.
Especially when he calls time like that, and then he puts 10-second pressure on you. Makes it missable. As we've seen,
Yeah,
you called it.
The only thing I'm surprised about is that with the new cloth, he could have played just follow and more pocket speed to slide possibly the 14 in. The way how he struck it. Like, the stun definitely did not make that drop in any way. But he probably felt like he had a bigger chance on making it with this kind of stroke, so I mean that's preference probably. This is not a great start again for Fabio. I mean, sure, he has to be happy to at least get something on the table, but tricky opening rack, you know, to get some rhythm, to feel the table again, and to get going.
Yeah, I wonder if that 7 ball goes to the bottom right, Tim, just where you can try to get something open after potting this ball and then the red ball, 3 ball, and then coming down. Try and get on that 7. Oh, he's playing a combo maybe. Yeah, might be a good combo here, just to bump the 7 ball into a break ball also.
Well, he's shooting the 11 to get to the 7. And then now, if he could draw into the 15 just soft to where it moves over, he might be guaranteed on the 2 ball. I think that's what he was looking for. Doesn't want to split the balls too firm. I like just bumping the 15 out.
Yeah, I thought he might have bumped the 15 as well, Tim. That might have been a bit of a better breaking ball for him option-wise as well.
Well, it's also now those 2 balls are still blocking each other. But he did take care of this cluster early, so that does work in his favor for later on.
Yeah, he does need to figure something out, because at the moment I'm not sure where he's going to take, unless he's taking the one to the left as the break ball of those 2 stripes. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Get rid of this one and leave them top 2 balls to help him get down for his break ball maybe. Try and get rid of this one now if he can, Tim, and draw it off the rail maybe and back out.
Yeah, you mean one of the stripes.
Yeah.
The 1 ball is still at the table. So
Yeah. Draw this off the rail.
Yeah.
And then get rid of the 1 ball.
Well, I might go to the 14. Okay. Oh.
Maybe he's using the 1 ball as his break ball then. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just I cannot really see the triangle drawn on the table that nicely, so I was not sure if the balls were nicely positioned on the rack. This is still tricky though. I would have liked to take out the 14 way earlier. The 3 ball could be slightly wild.
Maybe a slow drag. Yeah. Played that well.
Oh, nice double nudge there. Now 3 rail shape. Could be 2 rails, but you never know if he touches the 3rd long rail. Just gotta make sure he doesn't scratch in the side. That scratch always seems to be there when it's the most important moment.
Yeah, he's just trying to find the rail on the long rail. He's got enough speed to get over above the 1. He has.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
Is it
shot.
third rail?
Little bounce.
Yes. Good call.
Bonus points.
Woo.
Well done.
Well, also
was-
I know in France they play a lot of three cushion billiards, of course. A lot of different disciplines in billiards, but also three cushion. So I know they all play a little bit. So in general, moving the cue ball around, the French are pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, and obviously he had made his mind up that the one ball was going to be his break ball, so he executed that pretty well. As long as he found that long rail, he now has a pretty okay angle just to try and get something going here and close down this 45-11 lead that Felix has made. But like you said before, when he came to the table, it hasn't been very pretty, so he would love to get a nice half decent split here that he can work with.
Well, I think he can go force follow, just literally slam the cue ball in there. The cue ball will be pushed out of the rack by 15 balls of power, so see, it rarely happens for the cue ball to stick in the stack, unless that the balls obviously they open up and they firm around the cue ball. But he's on the 12, I believe. Stop on the 12, can use the 8 to either open up the 9-13 or play for a combo. Just gotta think about pushing a ball out for the break shot. That's why I like to open up this 9. Might be slightly low here.
Yeah, I think he was just checking if it was any good for a break ball.
He's gonna try again, possibly. No.
He still has to maybe make something a little bit better, because I don't think there's anything that's perfect. The 9 ball is probably an option.
Well, you don't really want to go off the 7. It's so sensitive. I think he was trying to get on the 15 to possibly push the 4 out. The 9, I mean, I think the 9 is something. You're gonna be low on the stack of it, but don't think it's the worst. So yeah, at least he has something and he can try to build something extra.
Yeah, and because where the 9 is, he'd probably go into the, if I can say, the weaker part of the stack, of the break, of that bottom part, and he can just push. It's okay, just you can push the bottom of the pack open from the 9. So actually, where the 10 ball is, onto the 9 wouldn't be a bad place to leave the white around that area. That would probably give him enough of an angle and pace. They're just blocking each other a little bit, these balls, so he needs to find probably 1 or 2 good shots just to, you know, get rid of these balls.
The combination is on the 11 ball. Also has the long 5 ball. But I feel if you make the combo, you can let the cue ball run into the short rail, always shape.
That's a pretty good recovery. He's got a good chance now. He could stun run through this. Either leave the 2 in the middle or the 14 ball in the bottom right. Nice.
Well, what about don't make it touchy. Just stop it, not stun run and try to get cute on the 2. Like you either have the 10, the 14, and shape on the 2 is also shape on the 9 for a break shot. So
yeah, that's where I was thinking about personal preference. I was thinking the 10 ball could be a perfect stop shot to be on the 9. But yeah, there's, like I say, there's the million options. It all comes down to how you feel, and I like what you said. If you can just stop shot, then you're doing so much less with the ball like this. Yeah, these are the kind of patterns. If they work, dot to dot, shake your head there a little bit, so you maybe going away.
yeah, just wondering, like this is what I mentioned earlier too. The 6 ball doesn't go to the bottom left. So he's just not happy about how he landed on the 14, because the more he gets towards the end of the rack, he feels like the 6 is still in the way. So now I was expecting him to push the 6 out more, but he's gonna play the 6 to the left center. But he had to play something nice with the cue ball there. Otherwise, just the fact that the 9 ball was still there for the 6, in front of the 6, could have blown his whole run.
Yeah, but he's taking these well. Oh, he's just gonna have to go up and down now. He's left that a bit short. It's not where he wanted it. It's not crazy difficult.
Could choose to go 2 rails, right? Top left spin, run to where you always have angle on the 9.
I think he's going 1 rail. With a little bit of left hand side, so that still works.
Oh, okay. Well, you landed really nice on this. Nice
not far
angle,
from where
not far.
Not far from where the 10 ball was. So I think he's
true. Yeah, he would have liked to play the stop shot on the 10 for the 9, but yeah,
get there in the end.
Pool happened.
Yeah, pool happened. There's a T-shirt right there, Tim. Pool happened.
Well, I need one because it seems to happen to me a lot.
But I like the way he took them balls out. It wasn't so straightforward. He just calculated. It was smooth, and he solved the problems pretty quickly. And all of a sudden, if he gets a good break here, this becomes a very close match indeed.
Well, let's see. Could play with force follow, but you're gonna catch the 13 quite full, and only the bottom of the rack is going to split. So could also choose to play stun, and slight bit of top spin. Cue ball will try to go up table, but you stop the cue ball. Oh, well, he played super draw. Did he get something near?
Yeah, middle pocket, 10 ball, straight through.
There's always things to work on after breaking the rack. Like the first thing he's going to open up is the 8-4, but also the 7-2 on the right. He does have a break shot this time on the 3 ball.
Yeah, and he also has a couple of balls that he can use to bump those 7 and 2 that's blocked. So it'd be great if he could play that next shot if he rolls this through. I'm not sure if he can leave a good angle on one of those 2 balls. Yeah, he's just looking where the 7 and 6 is. I don't know if he can roll it through and leave an angle to stun over to disturb those 2 balls, but if he can get after them early.
Well, you could tap in the 13 and play the 6 and go off the 2 balls, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because if you catch the left side of the 7 is going to the short rail, and the 2 ball is going towards the long rail, so the odds of not getting on either one of them and having the 12 as a backup, I would say, is quite decent. Just play medium speed, low left.
There you go. I like that he tackled the problems early. Obviously the first shot was a natural one, but this one he had to play for it, so now it's just about his preference of pattern play. The 3 ball looks pretty good, the break ball I think.
Okay, so now 14-7. Obviously there's a lot of preference in this, but I would like probably to take away the 5 also. So what I like to do is 7, 5 in the left middle. So you need quite good shape on this. Then get to the 12 and go up table to clear the top side of the table, come back down. and then 4, 8, 3. Depending on if you shoot the 2 balls to the corner or you get straight on the 4, you can play the 8 in the other center. It just depends, but the 5 ball is a little bit of an odd ball there.
Yeah, and especially with the ball next to the side pocket, if you can top this one through for the 1 ball in the same pocket, just play this long rail back across for the 1 in the same pocket. Played that well. Just drag this in for the 1 in the side, and then, like you said, Tim, the 4 and 8 preference, it's however he lands, really. But the balls are in a good position. Nicely done.
Could also play for the 8 first. Needs a little bit of an angle to the left of the 8. But looks like he's playing 4 and the 8 in the same corner.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he's just about straight on the 8. You could play like a little bit of a stop shot, would be nice. This looks like it's going to be good. Yeah, you can pinch this, just kind of stop it dead, I think. He's quite a tall guy. Doesn't want to draw back too much, I think.
Well, if he draws, that means the angle is going to be a little bit more flat. So stop is maybe a little bit crazy angle, but this is definitely the mix in between having enough angle to generate that speed on the stack and making sure the shot doesn't get too difficult. I know for a fact that Fabio Rizzi also does have a full-time job next to playing pool, so possibly just a couple weeks ago he started to prepare well for this European Championships, but he's still starting to find rhythm, play himself more into this match as well. So a player that plays every day probably would take more cut on the 3, and he probably just chooses to leave himself something that he knows he will never mess up. And now hopefully I didn't jinx it.
Well, yeah, he's got one of those angles, a bit like Felix before. You know, it's probably he could play a draw shot on here, depending how he feels he's going into the stack. But it's a bit of a draw stroke on. Come through the center of the table, back up and down if he chooses. Yeah, that's what he's tried. Good split. A few clusters on the right side. Bit of work to do here, Tim, but they opened pretty well.
Well, that's always something you won't be able to control. You could play with less speed into the stack, but then you will have a bigger cluster around the stack. So don't think it will be too tough. Whenever you get straight on the 12, gives you angle on the 9 to run into the 4, 11, 6, 13 on the left. So that's an opportunity.
Yeah, I like that. I think that is the shot he's playing, if I'm honest.
Unless he gets there right away, would be even better. Yeah. Because in that he can run into those balls and have probably the 15 or the 12 left right after. Oh, look at how nicely that has worked out for him.
Yeah, it's a good shot. So just the 10 and the 8 ball and the 1 ball is now needs a bit of something arranging, but he's got plenty of balls to work with.
The first thing I'm wondering is what is going to be his break shot. He doesn't have one yet. I don't like the ones going to the center. The 4 is nice if it would be in the center of the table, not that close to the side. Might have to run into the 1-8. If you catch the left side of the 8, could push over, could push the 10 ball over. I'm not too sure about... I'm not sure what he was trying to play there with the 2.
I think he was coming around for the 10, Tim. So he could pop the 10 in the same pocket as... and then nudge into the 1 and 8.
Possibly push over the 1-8, yeah.
That's what he's trying again, but he's a bit short. I wonder if the 2 ball goes in the top corner. If it does, can he roll forward a little bit?
I don't think it does. I think he has to shoot the 12. Now another one is shoot the 12, run the cue ball into the 6 of the 13, push the 6 into a break shot, and have shape on the 2.
Yeah.
Like you will push the 6 into the long rail and out. You would say most of the time shape on the 11 or the 2. If you get a nice angle on the 2, you can also open up the 1-8. Either way,
true.
I think it gives you an opportunity to maneuver something.
Yeah, see, he's going into the ball for sure here. Could be a break ball, Tim. He's just created something which is good. If you can get rid of that 10 ball next after this 2 ball, then this is wide open now. Because I think the 8 ball will go on its own. So now if he moves this 10, you could even play the 1 on the side, or all of a sudden he's got a nice... Surprised he went into them. If they both go, you're taking this one out on the side, but that could have been a nice ball before the break ball.
Yeah, I mean, but on the other side, a stop shot on the 1 or a straight on the 1 to play the 8 and go to your break shot is also an option. It's not always a ball going towards the side. So as long as he gets straight on the 1 to where you can follow maybe a ball forward, you can stun over off the 8, which is decently, well, I would say it's quite controllable for the cue ball.
Yeah, I think my personal preference from playing straight pool is if I can do the least amount of movement on the cue ball and still have the ideal angle on your break ball. That is my kind of objective. Of course, as you said, pool can happen, but if you can just roll a ball in or stop it dead and you're pretty good, that's where I'm thinking in my mind. Now he's got to play a bit of a shot here. Come behind the 6 ball, 2 rails. I think he's okay, Tim. Even if he's just doesn't want to overcommit and let the spin run away. So he can just run a bit too much. Does it run too much?
Well, based on his facial expression, I would say no, but
Just enough.
he did get slightly awkward. Quite some work to do on this one.
Yeah, it's very easy for those when you put in quite a lot of spin on these brand new cloths and new tables. It can just run away a little bit, but he still has a bit of angle and he can work with that bottom corner of the stack if he wants to. I mean, he might even want to. He could try to just hit the top 2 balls and focus on drifting off and catching one of them corner balls is his next shot, but all depends on his preference. Do you prefer on these kind of funny angles, Tim? Would you try to take a ball from the bottom of the stack, or would you try to flick off in the top side of the pack?
I usually like to whack the ball, basically. I'm not trying to be picky.
Yeah, you had enough
The
angle
only
there, but
the only scary part is that you have to force the ball, and the scratch is a little bit easier to happen. If you catch it a little fuller or not enough draw, you might find yourself dead in the corner.
plus you could also hit the ball too hard and miss the pot altogether because you're trying to force it so hard.
Yeah.
The risk of that. But he doesn't have a shot here. Maybe a shot in the side. I don't know. Can't see anything.
Could he play the 15 into the 11 off the short rail, carom off the 7 in the corner? Oh, there is a 4 in the center.
Oh, he has a shot there.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta go here. Just plain topspin, run into the 14 soft, or not soft, just make the ball. Don't care what happens after. Oh, nice cueing there. You know,
Good recovery.
you know that feeling when you're on that run, and now you finally get even. You have that one shot after the break shot. You know, like if I make it, I'm basically guaranteed 10 or 14 balls more.
Yeah.
It always makes it awkward queuing in some way. Those are definitely missable shots, which to where in 9 ball, players would make that over and over. I think it's just because you play different shapes too.
Yeah, plus the reward is different. Making a 4 ball and a 9 ball rack, it's different because every ball is accessible on a straight pool. So, like what you said, you just know that there is a multiple ball reward for making that shot. There were so many easy balls here, but he cued it very well, and already again we've seen him tackle the problems very quickly.
Yeah, now some players would look into running into the 212. The reason why he did not do that is because he would probably push one of the 2 balls together with the 114 and create another cluster. So I like that he waited for it. He will play the 8 and then take away possibly the 2. It's tough to say if the 1 or the 14 will be his break shot, because the 1 looks to be slightly high, but then the 14 looks slightly out and low.
Yeah, I'm going to lean with the 14, I think, just because if he's got a ball on the side rail he could use if he wants to leave quite a thin angle to go into the stack. I think it's just on. But then getting rid of that 1 ball, might even opt to play it now. Get rid of that 1 ball straight away. Yeah, I think he has. It's a touch too hard there, Tim. I think he was playing for the 1 ball there. Yeah, I think judging by his body language, he was definitely hoping to get rid of that 1. So now he's changing his route a little bit. Probably taking the 2 stripes at the top of the table and then finishing with the ball on the long rail, and then using the 1 ball to get on his break ball. I think
most of the mistakes or the struggling patterns are happening because of that 1 ball not passing to basically 1 corner. Like now he's really working to get on that 1 ball and he's on the rail, so now we'll have to draw back and get perfect on the 1. It's like the clock is ticking, and just because it's blocked by 1 corner.
Yeah, the good thing is they were pretty close in terms of proximity, so I didn't think he would make such hard work of that, but probably going to play this off the long rail, Tim, or will he just try and drag and hold it? I think the long rail would give him better opportunity to have a better angle. If he tries to hold, he could end up leaving himself a bit straight.
I mean, I do like to go 1 rail and out. I would always tell myself to a certain point, like, get to minimum this on the table and whatever I roll further is bonus. Just to make sure that I have angle on the 14. So like, let's say you say center of the table minimum, and then give yourself like a diamond.
Yeah, I think
he's not happy.
I think he's okay. He's run a bit further than he wanted, but I think because he was using the 1 rail with the slide on the cloth, the check spin wouldn't bite as much, so he was always going to drift a little bit further up.
Well, also, like I mentioned, he's been trying to put himself slightly straighter on the break shots. So now this one is a little bit more cut. And I feel, based on this angle, he will have to put a big stroke on there. I think he could play force follow. He's gonna catch the top side of the 11, so just going to follow through the 11.
Yeah, I like that shot. It will naturally push some of the balls on the bottom of the stack kind of down the table towards the short reel, so for him not to have a shot after this would be a little bit unfortunate unless he sticks on something.
Yeah, but with that speed, It's 15 balls against the cue ball, so basically there's more energy in the stack than the cue ball, so it would basically push out. I don't like the draw, it's so off angle. It's missable. Well, he said, let me draw that cue ball.
Yeah, let me just punch that in. He does have an angle on the 9 straight away, Tim, if he wants to tackle these balls, open them up a little bit.
Yeah, I find it's kind of scary. If you catch the 10 thick or with the wrong speed, you might scratch. Like something funny could happen, or double kiss. Like you might run into the 10 and the 7 might kiss the cue ball in the corner. Like, I might wait. You don't have to do this now. You have 10 balls on the left side of the table.
Yeah, I think if he was just off the thin edge like he was, then it was probably worth it. How's he landing?
Well, he might... Okay, he still has the 8. I was gonna say, he might have hooked himself off that. Well, in the meantime, score was 42 to nothing. It's now 67 to 45 in a race to 100. Winner qualifies to the last 32. That would be a good win under the Frenchman's belt, actually, as Felix Vogel beat Mario He, or Mario He, just in whatever language you're trying to say his name, in the previous match. So that means he must be playing well too. I didn't really get to watch the match.
Yeah, he played pretty well. I commentated on that one with Pascal earlier. He was pretty good. It was only really 2 mistakes. One, a bit like what we said earlier, trying to force an angle out of nothing, and a break ball. Mario rattled the ball, didn't get it, and then Felix done quite a good run, and then when Felix made a mistake, Mario didn't capitalize and made another mistake, and that was it. Game over.
Well, I gotta say, Mario has this habit around Epbf tournaments to where he loses very early in the tournament and then manages to win, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls another one. I just want to be the one that called it beforehand, you never know.
Yeah, he's not going to be a good draw for somebody on the loser side, that is for sure.
Oh wow. Really? Can you believe that he just missed that? Oh, he's disgusted.
You know, Tim, it's so easy to do in Straightpool, right? It's so easy to make the smallest mistake.
We have all done it, but
yeah.
Still. And imagine if he had run out this rack, he would have been on like 80. Then now suddenly you're playing to actually win, you know, like it was wide open after he split that the cluster in the bottom, so oof. Well, chance for Felix. Needs 55 balls, so that's 4 racks, but not exactly, of course, because Fabio already made a couple balls in this rack, so let's see. Did leave Felix a great break shot on the 6, but would like to take out the 15 as soon as possible to make sure he has options to the bottom left corner.
Yeah, but Felix will just be happy to be at the table, of course, and if he can get his arm going again, take these out without any problems, because the easier you take the balls, the more comfortable you feel, that's for sure. But they're all quite close together, so a couple of stop shots, nice little controlled shots will give him a nice bit of confidence early on in this run. You don't want to be having to rescue anything when the balls are like this. saying that, he's just landed a little bit low on this 3-ball, so would he just drop this in and leave a
11 to the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, stop shot pretty much. So
I mean, it depends. Some like to get straight on the 2 and play the straight draw back to where the cue ball is now. Others like to go into the long rail. They feel they can split the speed a little better.
yeah. Cue ball back similar place wouldn't be too bad. Needs to slow down. He's okay. So all of a sudden, Felix with an unexpected chance here, Tim, and I'm sure he's going to try and make the most of it. And if he could, not sure what the discussion is there. Taking a timeout, or
Well, I feel Fabio is taking his timeout, but because Felix is at the table, he is allowed to continue. There is a referee there, so obviously nothing funny will happen. Or did he just take his glove off too?
yeah, I guess if Fabio takes his timeout, then Felix is also entitled to wait, right? He doesn't have to continue. Maybe out of courtesy.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, but he's allowed to, and I would not see any reason why you would not want to.
Yeah,
Just
I think it's
making
just
sure that he's not taking another timeout because he's already had one, or at least so far as I know.
So how would you call?
Go ahead.
So how would you call this timeout then, Tim? Obviously, with Felix being at the table, and he's taking a timeout while Felix was running. I'm not saying that it's strategy or tactics or whatever. Do you think he would could he not have waited and to see if he did get another chance and then take his timeout to be prepared for his moment, or taking it while Felix is at the table or in his run is a little bit, I don't know, what do you think of that? Is there nothing to it? Just is what it is.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I think Felix is allowed to continue, so I would not stop myself from continuing in this case. I would like to stay in stroke. But yeah, I mean, there is a piece of strategy, of course, because Fabio basically is going to the restroom, kicking himself, saying, how did I miss that 7-ball? Refreshing, regrouping, coming back, and now ready to possibly finish the match still. So Felix is giving him an opportunity to do all that away from the pool table, instead of making Fabio watch him run possibly 40, maybe not getting there, but at least he had to wait 20-30 minutes. So
Yeah.
And also, listen, they only have one break each, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. I'm very sure Felix already took his.
Yeah, he did. I guess. I mean, is there a rule to say that he can't leave the arena? Does he have to continue potting balls? I don't think so.
Well, he should either sit in his chair or continue by the rules, I guess.
Yeah, because he hasn't really got anything technically left that says he should be able to take a timeout. So by default, he's taking a second timeout because Fabio has left the arena, I guess, as you could say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you have to be very picky on the rules, and if you want to, you could really go and cry and possibly have the other guy have -14 or something funny. But I actually think they both agreed, like, probably Fabio asked, like, hey, is it okay if I take a break? And then Felix said, is it okay if I take another break? And Fabio said, yeah, sure. That's probably what happened, so we shouldn't be thinking too much on the side.
No, definitely not. It was more curious that Fabio had took his timeout while Felix was running, instead of if Felix missed, then take your timeout. But yeah,
I would definitely say it favors Fabio. He's getting a free chance to regroup away from the table. So, you know, just fresh thoughts. Just to stay away from whatever he just missed. I mean, it's basically... Yeah, well, he definitely had to take that. So I give him that. But the fact that Felix is not continuing is interesting. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there is a chance that he will come back and he will say, well, you know. Oh. Yeah, so now the referee might be telling him something about it.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, and I think they both said no, it was fine. We both agreed or something. So, yeah, I mean, the shot clock is back. They will continue. I guess everything is fine. So there's two options. Either Felix might have messed with his own rhythm, or this little extra break he got actually helped him to regain focus and run a little bit more than 3 racks, because he needs 48, so 3 racks and 6 balls.
Yeah, exactly. I think strategy-wise for me, everyone's different. I'm not sure what you would have done, Tim. Would you have taken your timeout at that moment? I probably would have kept it and just waited to see if I did get another chance and then take my moment to regroup. Because now he has to sit and watch Felix potentially pot all the balls, or he doesn't have a timeout anymore to regroup. But hey, it's personal preference. If you felt, there you go, that's crazy. There you go. So maybe because that's happened so quickly, the timeout worked pretty well. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's very interesting Felix did not continue. But also he's young, and that might be a little bit of experience there.
Yeah, it's that's crazy. That's a crazy situation to happen, but that's how pool goes. But
well, also, I mean, I also know other players that would tell, like, let's say you would be in Fabio's shoes, you would tell Felix, no, you already had your break, you should sit in your chair and wait, or continue playing, not take another break outside. Like, there's players that would do that too. So, yeah, it's interesting, but definitely a huge chance here to qualify for last 32.
Yeah, I don't think Fabio expected to come back to the table so quickly from his timeout, but he is at the table, and if he's just had a moment to refresh, he's all ready to go.
Last thing I'm adding to this, because you said you would probably wait till you would get the opportunity and then take a break. That would mean he would have to grind through this rack, still thinking about the mistake he made, and then taking the break. So he's also killing his momentum. Now he gets the opportunity and he's fresh.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Anyways, let's go back.
Yeah, he has some little bit of work to do in the middle. That's pretty okay. I think if that 5 ball does go through as well,
could do another one. Make the 5 draw into the 1. You don't have to play too deliberate. Could also, in case he bumps to 12, he bumps to 12 into a nice break ball. So
yeah, I was just about to say I like that shot, pushing the 12 across. Let's try and leave a nice break ball, and where those 3 balls are together, if he doesn't like it, he could try for another bump of some kind, but he has to play a shot here a little bit. He's playing the side or the top.
Was not gonna get on the 15 from how full he was gonna hit the 12, but still he could shoot the 9 to the top corner. It's a quite solid stroke, but the shot clock is there. Extension called.
How do you find the shot clock, Tim, when you know that 10 seconds coming? Do you have it in the back of your mind, or do you not think about it, knowing he's fat? That's good. When someone says 10 seconds and you're down, it's a little bit off-putting.
Sometimes I just wait.
Yeah, until he says it.
Sometimes I wait until they say it. I mean, it's like, I don't want it to happen on the real awkward moment. So sometimes when I know I was a little early, I just go down, prepare, I mean, not like I'm waiting 8 seconds on the shot, but let's say you're like 3, 4 seconds early. You go down, you prepare, then when they say time, you actually feel like, oh, I still have plenty of time to take another stroke if I would want to. Oh,
Yeah,
nifty little bump on the 10. Has 2 break shots now, but would like to get to the 13 here, or 6.
yeah, he's pretty okay. He's got some options. That one, yeah, the one next to the rail, next to the middle pocket, I think. Does he risk playing a little bump here? Maybe not. It's not worth the risk. Depends how tricky it looks on the rail. Yeah, he's playing the little bump. He knew he had the 8 ball and a few other balls as a backup ball, so it was worth the risk, I felt. Just hit it a little bit too hard, but he's still okay.
Oh, that scratch could be a very costly one from Felix. Because after these 4 balls, Fabio will be on 88 and only basically, well, we all can do the math, 12 remaining, but with 15 on the table, only 1 rack to split.
Yeah, and that makes the break ball in the next rack even more interesting because he's not thinking about another rack. All he's thinking about is potting those balls he needs, so these next couple of shots are critical. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's perfect. Nice stun. You see, he's just checking the minimum. You know, he's like, okay, if I get there, I like it a lot. Everything around it is okay, as long as he doesn't really go half a diamond too much. Like, he rolls slightly further, but he's not far of the object ball. Nice angle. He's on 88. 12 balls remaining for the Frenchman to get to the last 32. You never know what happens, though. I mean, I've seen the craziest things happen in Straightpool.
Yeah, I can remember a few times watching matches in the past in these championships where someone's been on 98, 99, missed a ball, and then someone's came back from nowhere just to pip the match on the hill, if you like. It does happen.
Yeah, or missing your final shot to then leave your opponent hooked and stuff, like 99 to 99 stuff. It's
Yeah, that would be exciting. Bit of drama.
Well, let's see. From this angle, I guess you're gonna get the bottom side of the 14, so low, just a drip of right, I guess.
Yeah, you could just stun into the pack really as well, just drift off. Oh, he just thunders it in.
Ooh.
I thought it was going towards the corner pocket for a moment. But now, yeah, this is all for the taking.
Yeah, 11 balls left, all the balls open.
Just composure now, Tim. No clusters, no problems, just pot your way. Oh, what's he done? Oh, he's on the ball. Has he hooked himself? Oh my gosh.
No, he's on the 5, I guess, but for a second I thought he was gonna leave himself the 3 ball after. So I would like to not play anything with the 8-15, just leave that. Now he's got the 13, 13-3, can go forward to the 7 in the side, then he's straight on the 6, then the 12, so a lot of things are lining up here.
Yeah, especially once he gets around that middle part of the table. He has so many options, so this for me looks like it could be a very good win for Fabio, unless something crazy happens. Just try and stay away from any potential kiss combos. those kind of things. I would try to avoid all of that where possible.
Yeah, but you sometimes need that feeling that you're alive, you know?
Live on the edge.
Exactly.
With danger.
Well, straight on the 7. Either 6 or 12 after. I mean, he could go so many ways. He could go from the 2 ball to the 4, from the 4 back to the 12. I mean, it's so open.
Yeah, he come back to his hand. 6 ball, 2 ball, 9 ball. He's pretty happy here. I think Felix is sitting there, probably just trying to focus on himself for losers qualification, which will be tomorrow. Or will it be tonight, actually? My apologies. Will it be tonight? Let me just check. No, it's tomorrow morning. Losers qualification is tomorrow. After this match, we will have the losers round 3 coming up, which will be the final match of the day. Ready for as we get to the single elimination after tomorrow's matches in the morning. But we have to say, Tim, this has been a very good performance from Fabio overall. A couple of things, but looked like Felix was going to run away a little bit at the beginning, but Fabio's really taken these racks very well, I think.
Yeah, made a small comeback and good mental game. Made a good run to go from 40, 50 points down. So Fabio Rizzi advances to the last 32 with a win against Felix Vogel. We will see him back tomorrow morning at 9 AM in the loser qualification. He's not out yet, needs one more win to get through. So this was Graham Hickman and Tim de Ruyter again in the booth. I believe we have one more match together actually in 36 minutes. So hopefully you guys can get a couple snacks and some drinks in, and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, we'll see you shortly. Thanks for joining.
I know you know the rules, but just in case, let me repeat one more time. We are on shot clock here, okay? So for every shot you have 35 seconds. And when it's 25 seconds I say time, it means you have 10 seconds left. And if you need to use an extension, you can use only once every rack. When you want to use it, please say it a little loud so that I hear and I repeat, okay? So it means another 25 seconds. But after the break, it's 60 seconds, okay?
After the break shot or only after the break?
After the break shot.
So after every break shot?
Exactly. Okay?
And welcome back to the Predator Epbf European Pool Championships. This is a loser round 3 match between Mario Hay and Yaroslav Polak. This will be a very fine matchup. Both great players, one more known than the other. And lucky to have Graham Hickman with me in the booth. This is Tim de Ruyter to call the shots and go over all the action for you all at home. Welcome back, Graham.
Thanks, Tim. Nice to be here. Yeah, it's been a great day so far of some exciting pool. Look forward to this final match of the day. Yeah, as you said, between Mario, who's probably a bit more well known than Polak, but yeah, nonetheless, we are here in losers round 3, and we shall see how this goes down, because yeah, on paper Mario looks to be, will be the stronger on paper, and I'm looking at some of the history of his opponent, and yeah, he hasn't really gone very deep in a lot of the European Championships. I think his best is a quarter-final a few years ago in an 8-ball discipline, so he's probably got a tough task against Mario, I would say here, Tim.
Well, I do remember Yaroslav Polak in the final against Nick Vandenberg. I think he was up, like I think he was on the hill, 7. Yeah, I know he still lost a match 8-7, but he was very close to win a title here. So.
On the European Champs?
Yeah, I could try to find, but I believe could be like 2014, but.
Oh, interesting. So if I go back to 2014, yeah, he wasn't showing anything on the Euro Champs. Maybe it could be quite some time ago, but looking at the statistics, don't find anything on the, at least on the Epbf website. When you look back at the history and his performances, I don't see a final, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It could just be some time ago. But if he did, then clearly he has a good game in him. Let's see how Mario breaks off.
Well, I might be completely wrong, but I'm trying to find it still.
Wow. We just said this in the last match, Tim. That's incredible. I didn't expect that to happen, in all honesty. But I don't know. What do you think of that?
I am bumfuzzled at the moment. I truly do not know what happened. The only thing I do know is that Yaroslav must love this. I mean, he gets an open shot. Definitely time to get in stroke. I'm just wondering if something had made Mario angry, but possibly just the fact that he's lost earlier, or I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah, that's. I'd be really interested to know if he did that in his last match, but because he was 100, I think he won by 100 to single digits, so maybe he did quite a good run in that match. But that's incredible. I know I was joking about if you've seen somebody try to pot a ball from the break, but clearly Mario was going for a ball. Maybe he forgot he was playing Straightpool and thought it was the 8-ball discipline, but I don't know.
Well, he did rack the 8 in the middle, so who knows.
That'll be quite an interesting brain moment, but no, clearly he knows what he's doing. I don't know. I guess the only person would know would Mario. Somebody could ask him. But talk about nice opening start. This is what you want.
Yeah, let's have a look. I do believe, it's tough to say, tough to see, but the 6 or the 11 is a break shot. Still would like to get on the 2 ball as soon as possible, so I would like to get. Okay, so he must have played for the 6. I would like to get to the 2 ball as soon as possible, because you need to clear up the balls over there. It's difficult shape. The 9 and the 1 only go to the top corner. So does he go forward to play the 1 in the top left corner? No, he's playing for side.
wouldn't it be funny if he ran the match? That would be quite an interesting result. Bit of a talking point as well, I would say. Mario can be a little bit wild at times. We all know that.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen something like this from him.
Yeah, I think like what you said, maybe something happened. Must be. You only really do that if it's kind of a frustration moment, I guess. But it was a bit of a freebie. Yaroslav will be very happy to accept the gift and see what he can do with it. So far, so good. Ooh, I nearly jinxed him. That was your fault, Tim.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry. No, I was just thinking, the only thing I could remember about what happened on the break shot is that Mario was wrecking very long, so I'm wondering, was he struggling to get the balls tight, or like did something like that get him? But I mean, in no way it's the right move, I would say, in a tournament like this. So let's focus more on Yaroslav Polak here from Slovakia. Quite experienced player. The only thing I know about him, like, and his technique, is that under the pressure could end up quite jumpy. As you can see, quite some body movement here and there on the ball.
Yeah, a little bit of twitchiness can catch you out at the worst moments, but so far he seems to be doing okay with taking his patterns. He's got his break ball ready. Doesn't want to be on top of that stripe though. He's just ran past, I think.
Well, and suddenly I'm starting to think that Yaroslav Polak and I forgot the other player's name. Let me see, I think I can find it. Because they finished really well in the World Cup of Pool. Jakub Konjar, I believe.
Okay, so yeah. Very dangerous then. Can't play.
Well, I'm just making sure I have the stats right, so I'm currently looking it up while he's trying to get shape on the 11, but look at how straight he's put himself. He's not going to be too happy. He does have some angle, but I mean, it's not my favorite. It might be yours.
No, it's a bit careless that, Tim, because he had quite a lot of table to play with. Even if he overran that by a diamond and a half, he still had an okay, or at least a shot. So to be straight is a little bit... But because he was playing with running kind of check side, I think that was always a challenge. A lot harder to judge the pace when you're playing it that way on a slidey cloth, I think. So I'm not sure if he'll be trying to force this. He might be able to catch the edge and just push a ball out on the bottom, maybe, just to give him a shot. He's going to drill it. No, he could just squeeze a bit off. That's a good shot.
Wow.
It's a good shot.
He's played it really well. Nice stun run. If you stun the ball too much, you glue the cue ball with the stack. And if you go forward too much, you might scratch off the stack in the bottom left. So I'm not too sure if they are... Some players like to update the score at the end of the run. That's why they did not add the 14 points yet to the score, I believe. Definitely now.
Yeah, I think he might go into the pack here, Tim, because I don't see another option ball. Might have to give it a go.
I'm just surprised that he played it that firm. Like, could he have slow rolled it in to where he had the 8 near the corner, and then he would go into the stack and be guaranteed to have something.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
I mean, it's still okay if you catch the right side of the 10. You will get a decent spread. The cue ball is most likely to get on the 4 and the 8. Not that side. He might. Ooh, almost scratched.
Triple black ball now if he's going to take this on. Cut back on the stripe might be a little bit too thin, but the 8 ball could present opportunities, because if he can pot the 8, he will be going into the gap, kind of the top side of the stack. He does have the 4 ball as an insurance ball potentially, so it's definitely worth just bearing down on this and getting the 8 ball in and see what the outcome would be. Don't need to whack it. No, he's fatted it.
Yeah, but that's a missable shot, especially with how much he moves his body under the pressure at times. If he does feel that shot gets more loaded by the pressure, it's just tough. Also, this is possibly their 4th match today, 3rd, 4th match today. So obviously it's the beginning of the European Championships. They should not feel the fatigue yet, but it's still a long day, and Straightpool can be more tiring than other games, because one mistake could cost you the match. Well, I finally found it. 2021, excuse me. Jakub Konya and Yaroslav Polak won bronze medal at the World Cup of Pool, so that's why I'm saying, to break the ball so wide open like Mario did could have been very dangerous.
Yeah, Mario's not going to hang around though. I think he's very keen to get a move on.
I think he would have liked to be on the 15 straighter to move over to the 14-6. Now if he catches the 9 with enough speed, I would say it's still fine. No.
It's short,
That's
maybe.
also, there's 2 different styles in Straightpool, which there's a lot of players that like to barely run into any balls, only to open up the clusters, and if the ball goes to any pocket they will make sure to find the shape for it, compared to the players that keep bumping the balls here and there to reorganize them. So there's, or in my opinion, there is 2 styles in that way, and Mario might play a cleaner style, less bumping and more just shot making, and doesn't have to be as close to the balls as maybe other players.
Oof.
Yeah, I would have liked to rub the 9.
Yeah, he's got to. I'm sure if he can do a deep draw on this and try to open something up. Yeah, he's just going to leave a thin one and then come across and disturb the 9. Just wants to half ball, push the 10 to the left. I think that's what he's going to try anyway.
Yeah, you kind of have to do something here. But still, I'm trying to catch the left side of the 9. Never am I, or the top side. I'm never gonna try and catch the bottom or try to catch it full. I'm either gonna open them up, hitting the top side, or I'm getting the shape on the 12. Oh.
He's got quite a nice angle though, so he looks like I think he can develop it here. Kind of. Maybe not. Gosh.
Might be just enough to make the 9, but also the 10 is really not that much of a break shot, so I'm assuming this run is going to be over unless he pulls a rabbit out of the hat on the 10.
This might be okay, Tim. He's played this well.
Yeah, but the 10 is quite low, and it's not too much of a cut to where you're gonna hit the short rail and come really straight out of it. It's still some cut, but we'll see.
Yeah,
He might be able to cut the 10 with a lower pace and still catch the right corner point of the rack. That would be enough. He doesn't have to force it.
That's what I was thinking.
It's easy to run around it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you can very easily, like you say, run around it. He's got the kind of, if I can say, overcut the 10 a little bit and put the 10 into the left side of the jaw, putting the 10 ball clean right in the center of the pocket might not be ideal, because if he can cut it a little bit thinner, he probably have more chance to catch the 7 ball in the corner of the rack. Yeah, I think he probably can just. I wouldn't be playing this really hard. Yeah. Yeah, that's a smart shot. He's trying to guarantee himself some kind of shot, even if it's not ideal.
Hasn't opened up too great. Has a shot on the 7. Let's see, will he go 3 rails around the stack to the center of the table, or I just don't feel like he can go far enough with topspin. Could stun for the 2 in the same top right corner, but I'm at least trying to have as many options as possible. You see, even if he would have not gotten shape on the 13, he would have had something on the 4 or the 2. So it's gonna catch the 11 ball full enough, I guess, and the 11 will do the work for him.
Yeah, good call.
So basically only had to look at how he was gonna hit the 11 and make sure he doesn't lose the cue ball, which he did nicely. Now I'm just wondering if there might be a slight
Okay.
just wondering about the scoring, if there might be a slight issue there, but might be them also not sending the score, so I can see other matches the score is on. Nice spread, definitely made it work. Nice little nudge, and I think actually the nudge on the 2 has made it pretty decent break shot, unless something else pops out on the other side. It just really depends on how the game develops too. He has the 1, can get to the other side to play the 8 and the 12 in the opposite corner. Slightly more near the rail, quite sure he wasn't trying to get there. So now doesn't want to shoot the 9 because he needs to take the 12 out to open up a couple pockets for 8-9.
Extension.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his time exactly at the point in the rack where he feels like things are a little bit off. And usually those are the last couple balls, because you kind of need to shape up for a nice pattern. In the beginning you have so many options, you can go so many ways. So let's see. Could go to the 4. Okay, chose to go up table already to get to the 5 ball. Not sure, is he going to try and get to the left side of the 15? Try to get as straight as possible and play the 4 in the right center. He's looking at playing the 4 in the bottom right. So we will see him move the cue ball a lot more from his key shot to the break shot. Needs to be straight on this 4, or at least the slightest of angles to the right center.
Yeah, just making sure how he wants to leave this cue ball. Yeah, that's the kind of key ball I like to play before break ball. Just a nice little touch, nothing too crazy. And this is, I like to be on the right side of the table, just for preference. It feels, because I'm right-handed, I feel like I can settle in better on this side. But all of a sudden, Mario is getting some momentum after the crazy break at the start, let's say.
Well, also, and this may sound weird because this might actually convince people breaking off like that in straight pool might be the best trick, but the fact that Yaroslav only made, I think he only made 17 out of that opportunity, definitely is going to settle Mario down. He's gonna play with less fear because he knows, like, well, if I make a huge mistake like that, my opponent runs 17 balls, so I will get more innings. And that, I mean, is dangerous. We all know Mario plays on a very high level, extremely high level, and then when you make him comfortable by giving a signal like that, yeah. He might have done the same thing last match. The opponent running maybe 20 and then he possibly ran out. I don't know, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess people watching or looking on, you could actually also, Tim, I don't know, could you say it was a bit disrespectful to break that way? I don't know, to slash the balls open. And when you look at snooker players doing the same thing, you talk about smashing the reds open and straight pool, it's very similar. It's not really the right shot to play in normal circumstances. So,
yeah, but listen, I don't think as an opponent you can complain about it because, I mean, you have to take it. I would be the happiest man alive if people would break like that against me. So I don't take it in any offense. Please do it against me.
Yeah, as long as you don't put the ball.
Hopefully my opponents for tomorrow from the league, hopefully they break off like that. That would be great. Yeah, so I'm more saying, like, I mean, sure, there is a etiquette in there, but yeah, I mean, maybe you ask the wrong person too. Like, I don't really care too much about these kind of things.
No, of course
Like, I
not.
can
I'm not
handle.
saying,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he was being disrespectful at all or etiquette of the game. Mario is he's such a wild character. He does crazy things at times, and I know he's not that kind of guy. Just be curious on the perception of somebody watching that thinking, oh, that's not normally how you break in Straightpool. What's going on? So you don't normally see that, is my point. So it's just interesting, and hey, we both didn't expect it to happen. And just in the match before, we both were talking on the stream about, have you ever seen that happen often? And it's funny, maybe
yeah.
he heard us.
And then it happened.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we both know how mentally draining pool can be, and he lost his first match to Felix Vogel earlier today. Probably felt like, man, I really don't feel the tables yet, or I'm not in that bunch. I feel weird. Well, and then things can get frustrating. I think we've all done something similar to what he's done, but yeah, most of the people don't expect this to happen in maybe this kind of competition.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. But he's getting a little bit of... Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, I was just going to say. I was going to say just the same like you. Like, things are not looking too great at the moment. I might consider playing the 5-ball here and running into the 15-6. And I mean, definitely a better break shot is going to open up. He tried to play it like a really cute kind of way. I was thinking about just pushing them up, and maybe you get something to the side or like something nicer to work with.
Yeah, it was a good shot. I was thinking similar, to be honest. I wonder if he does have a... Can he drop the 6 and just nudge those 2 balls? I don't know. No, he's playing...
I don't think so, but he could... If he can draw these 2 rails, he might still push the 15-10 over.
No, he's locked.
He's got froze.
Bank shot coming up, I think.
Cross side.
Nicely done. Shake of the head in frustration, but that's his second bank in this run out already. He had one earlier. But yeah, there's nowhere to hide anyway. No safety shot. It's the shot that he has to play, so executed well. Still needs to find a break position here. Would you land low on one of these balls for a side pocket split, Tim? Play one of them into the side and cut back into the pack?
It's tough. I was just wondering, like, how high is the 15 off the rack? If he could have gotten straight for the 10 in the top left corner, could have played a 15 in the side and opening up the stack. But apparently this 10 is not too high. He left himself a little straight, but apparently it's not too high for Mario to open up the stack, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he can play like a top spin, like a stun run through and go off the top of the pack, maybe. Kind of hit the pack head on. And just let the white ball drift, possibly to the right side of the table. Depending on how high this 10 ball is, we'll get a good view in a moment. So I don't think you can really hit the side of the pack too well. Let's see. Yeah, top side of the pack. No reward. It was a tough one, that, I think, Tim. He couldn't really get anything power-wise into it from that angle.
Well, the worst thing is that you have to play softer to hit the top side of the stack, maybe fuller, but then there is less opening. So there's an in-between kind of stroke, and this is just really tough to reproduce over and over. But he does have that combination on the 7 if he wants to go aggressive, and I have a feeling he wants to go aggressive today.
Yeah, what gave that away? Let's have a look, he's playing the combo. Oh, he jumped up. How quick did he jump up? It was very, very quick. I'd love to see the replay on that one. He jumped up so fast. Missed it by a mile. Surely Yaroslav can put this bottom strike ball, I think. He does have the 1 ball up the table and the 7 ball, I think, potentially as well, but he would like to play this stripe at the bottom, maybe. Okay. You tried to move the 9 a bit more. Would you play this thin stripe, Tim, and go into the stack from there?
Well, I've seen people get stuck playing that shot because if you catch the 5 ball quite full, only the 12 is popping out, and then now you're hampered by the stack, having to cut the 3. Awkward things can happen. I like to play this. You're kind of guaranteed to have the 15 as long as you make it. Unless you play it very firm, of course, but it was guaranteed to have the 15. If you look at the shape on the 7, I kind of liked going for the 3, just missed it.
Yeah, that was a very tricky bridging hand. But I still fancied him to pot that, to be honest. It was quite close to the pocket, but he just, yeah, obviously quite awkward, and Mario finds himself back at the table. He's now maybe going to open some balls up. Done it again. I think you said that, Tim, as well. Going in full in the face in the 5. He's quite fortunate to have one at the top of the table, really, because he didn't want to pop that 1 ball bridging. So he's got a ball.
It's just sometimes the balls are laying so nice to where if you run into them from the bottom, they equally split to both sides, like to both long rails. But sometimes they're laying to where you catch a ball full and only 1 ball pops out. So then you kind of have to run into the stack different, or possibly just look for a different break shot, you know, just to address the cluster from a different angle. And he's almost scratched there. Like, he looks like his shot making is still there, but he looks a little bit off. Like, the cue ball is traveling in odd positions, and
could be taking the 9
definitely
ball.
something is bothering him, I feel, but yeah, tough to say what.
Just a little bit out of sorts, but he will keep trying to pot his way out of trouble, that's for sure. Big puff of the cheeks. He's battling. Could be a long day for Mario. He's been around since the early morning. Like you said before, you know, 3 matches, 4 matches potentially on the loser's side because you got beaten. It's a long, long day.
Well, also the schedule doesn't really, I mean, it gets better in terms of you get to play more, but the winner of this match plays at 9 AM tomorrow morning, and tomorrow we will also know our European champion Straightpool. So basically he's playing from the last, what is it, 47 players to the final. So it's a long road, but I'm quite sure they are not thinking about that right now. They have a different problem at the moment themselves.
Of course, but they know what they signed up for when you join these events. The same as the Euro Tour events, these can be quite grueling in terms of matches, especially if they're quite long games and maybe not as quick. You have to put a lot of mental thought into these games, especially when it's not going your way like it is for Mario. You're always thinking a lot. Bit of a contrast to the earlier matches we watched, where players are taking 10 seconds a shot and just potting the balls because it's easy. This is taking a bit more thinking. Just feels like he's chasing all the time, Tim. Like fighting the rack, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, the good news now, though, is that, well, he's trying to get straight on the 2. 2, 14, 11 would have been great. Now, possibly, we'll have to play... Well, there's multiple things. Could play 14 to 11. Could also play to the 11 and make sure he's quite straight on the 2. It just depends. I do like this. Is, I guess, a little bit less traveling.
Yeah, he could just top this off the long rail, come back for the center, or he could just stun it and play it in the long top pocket. But
I don't mind to play this for the side, but you have to get straight on it. Like if you leave yourself angle, things get so much more difficult. But he's managing. I mean, after a mistake from Yaroslav, he's managing.
Yeah, somehow he finds himself halfway there. But Yaroslav has had chances. You'll definitely feel that. Maybe not clean cut, everything perfect, but he's definitely been at the table with pretty good chances. So Mario is probably quite happy to be so far 52-18 in the lead. And a nice break ball waiting. He's taking the timeout. But Mario can continue, which I think he's going to because he does not want to hang around. He's just asking, can I continue? Yeah. So a bit contrast to the match before, Tim, where Felix took a timeout as well with Fabio. He's just going to keep going. It would be quite interesting if Mario started to speed up and could run the match out by the time he came back. That would be quite
I seen that before. I seen that. I mean, it happens, but I mean, I've also seen players only needing like a rack or 2 racks, people leaving for a break, knowing that it's probably over when they come back, and then now suddenly they come to the table and someone scratched or whatever, and then they ran out. I mean, Straightpool is very different from any other pool game in terms of breaks and timeouts and all that. Definitely details that most of the people do not think about.
Yeah, and I do like that they have the shot clock in action for these events, including this format for Straightpool. It's not normally something that you see in Straightpool, but it does make it a bit more interesting and kind of pushes the player to be a little bit more, I'm not going to say it faster, but just quicker in their shot selection. So 35 seconds per shot with a 25-second extension. After the break, I believe it's 60 seconds and then still a 25-second extension. And that will also continue into the 8-ball, 9-ball and 10-ball formats that we'll have for the rest of the week. Yeah, so a little bit of work to do with these balls around the middle of the table, around the triangle area I should say. Yeah, what do you see here, Tim? He's going to have to try to move something potentially into a better position.
Well, does have the combo here. Doesn't have to do too much with the cue ball on this. On the 7 would be nice. Let's see. A little straighter on the 7 would have been fine. Can still, I would probably play the 7, nudge the 3 and the 2. I think the 3 might actually end up just next to the rack, so it could end up as a nice break shot if you catch the right side. Just softly, you know, you don't have to play firm. You're guaranteed to have a shot on the 1 or the 14 or the 15. Just soft little rub. See, gives him more space on that. Now if he takes the 14 out, he might actually open up the bottom left corner for the 11 or the 4. Still tricky. Could also tap the 14 in and play the 12 and go into them again.
Yeah, I wonder if he could come behind it, play a two-way shot, and just, yeah, he's going to play that way. Because both those balls do go in the top corner as well, so he doesn't necessarily have to disturb them, but judging by his angle, he probably might decide to play maybe a little bit more power on this one. He doesn't want to be locked up. Yeah.
Oh, and that 6 ball now got pushed in a really nice position. I think the 6 is ideal as a break shot there. So now if he has the chance to take out the 4 without running into the 6, I like to take out the 4. But as you can see from this angle, you don't want to play any shot that could bump your break shot. You know, I'd rather just wait. Make sure you get straight on the 4 and take it out as soon as possible.
You can play for it now, maybe off the 2 if it goes past. Sure
if the 2 goes, yeah. Does maybe the 1 go?
Yeah, I think they both.
I like 1, 4, 11, 15, 2, for example. That's what I would like. Or, I mean, it depends. 2, 4, 11, 15, 1 also possible. Interesting, because that 4 ball definitely would not be my pick to get to the break shot. It's not easy to get from the 4 to go to any other shot, so but he's probably gonna play 15, 2, 4 and move the cue ball over. Then again, I'm talking minimalizing the cue ball movement. Of course, he's also considering how he's feeling. Is he in dead punch? Is he looking for table speed? I mean, I'm just basically looking at the pattern to get nice and straight on this 2 ball. I mean, once in a while you don't get there, and then now the shot on the 2 will be tough. Maybe the shape on your break shot will be tough.
Yeah, I think I like the way he's played. For the 4 now, I think was the right shot.
He's slowly starting to run with the set though. See, he's run too far. We'll have
maybe come behind and you go around the back and maybe kind of play into the line a little bit. Yeah, I think he's going to go behind possibly, or above side.
Well,
yeah,
I feel you have to go 1 rail into the short rail and go directly to where the cue ball is now. If you go forward, it looks to be running into the 6 ball 2 rails. So low left. Just gotta make sure the speed is there. I think it's just fine. It's so tough because if you play that a little bit firmer, the cue ball gets deeper near the corner and the spin doesn't grab as much. So there was an in-between stroke of playing the right speed so the spin grabs, and knowing that you have to get far enough to get angle on the 6.
Yeah, exactly. But because the 6 ball is so close to the bottom corner of that stack, I think he can make something happen here. He's got enough angle to either push through and try and push a few balls out from the bottom. I don't think you'd be putting a big draw stroke on this. He'd probably want to push through the bottom corner of the pack, Tim, you think? Yeah, hard to tell, maybe. Yeah. So he is trying to draw. Maybe he is. He can catch enough.
Well, he's gonna catch the top of the 5, so definitely going into the short rail and out.
Yeah, it was a bit deceiving on the camera. I didn't think you could get that high up on the stack, so he played that pretty well.
Well, this is a nice layout. If you tap in the 10, you play a 13-2 combination. Then only you have to check if the 3 still passes to the bottom left corner. Then you play the 3, run into the stack, and it's open. Like, he's not going to try and pick too many points away, because when he runs into the stack, he wants to have other options around. And then still, if he... now it's a little tricky to get shape to the center of the table on the 3 to open the stack, but...
Yeah, is he stretching over? Can you reach this comfortably over the pack? I think he probably can. Just
He could also go to the 14 in the right center and use the 12 to open up the stack. But needs to get straight again.
might have to go now.
I think yeah. Well, I think he's okay to float this ball in. I don't think... this one, it looks so easy to say, well, he just goes into the stack from here, but you can scratch so easily. Same thing, you might go into them and not have any ball right after.
Maybe like that. Has he got the 8 ball maybe? No.
Well,
maybe nothing.
It's close. Does the 11 maybe have half the pocket? The 8 must go.
Very tight.
But it's so tricky because he had no balls to the top. So looks like the 8 goes.
Oh, very straightforward. So it worked out well. Yeah, he had no safety balls at the top of the table or any backup balls for going into the pack, so it worked out okay. He's still in okay shape yet. Still needs to get a break ball unless he uses the maybe the 6 ball. Is it 3 ball? Sorry.
Well, I think there's a 15-7 combination which will open up the rack. Just has to be careful not to bump the 15 in front of the 1 ball on the left long rail. Think could just make the combo and play just topspin. Just follow softly. Make sure you have the 5 to the bottom right.
He's made a bit of a problem on the other side. Of course, he can play a combo. He could play the 4 ball and bump into something if he wanted to.
Well, he actually has 2 problems, Graham.
He could, yeah, his break ball doesn't want to take it now.
Well, I don't feel like you can take the 3 because the 9 might be not as interesting as the break shot, more further and quite somewhat lower.
Yeah, he's thinking. It's an interesting one because he could play the 9 ball in the top corner. He could play the 5 ball now, then the 4 ball, and work that way up the table. But let's see how he lands. He might be playing it.
I was gonna say he could play the 4 and go 2 rails, bump the 15 and have shape on the 9. That way you can solve both at the same time, or well, almost same time. But he's a little straight on this 4.
I think just when you get down to the last few balls, like you said before, Tim, bumping things at the end of the rack is way more risky. Whereas here he could try to play position. Has he covered the 9? He has.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have to find a gap.
Yeah, definitely from this position. From this position, I'm not trying to bump anymore. He's still thinking about the 2 rails running into the 15. It's a big ball, but the combination on the 115 is not too horrible. I don't mind this, but this can go wrong, and it didn't this time.
Being a little bit fortunate there because that's not how he played it. I think he tried to catch the 15 from behind to leave the 9 ball in the right hand pocket. So Okay, he's not leaving that as a break ball then. That's quite ironic when he could have taken it earlier in the rack. He decided not
Yeah,
to.
he could have taken the 3 straight to the top left and be good.
So maybe he is playing the 9 as the break ball. He had us fooled, Tim. He had us fooled all this time.
Well, let's see. Is he going to force the cue ball off the rail or just... Oh, just some slight draw. No, force it off the rail. Again, that small angle, as you can see.
I'm just wondering,
yeah.
will he have to use his extension for this one? I don't know if he can reach normal with his normal cue. Looks a little bit low.
I think he usually plays with a small extension, like 2-inch, 3-inch, so I'm guessing he doesn't need it.
I thought I seen him put his extension on in an earlier shot, so maybe he has a bigger one if he needs it as well then. Let's see. Trying to get the balls as tight as possible for Mario. It's always hard to get them absolutely perfect, but nobody's checking racks. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Extension. Bonus point for Graham. Big stretch, this one. Oh, he's frozen, but he does have one in the top.
Well, and that's also something you have to be that little bit fortunate. Okay, I was gonna say what's happening. I'm playing a stop shot on the 2, playing the 6 in the side and ripping the stack probably. He was checking at cutting the 13. I'm wondering if he's okay. Must not be feeling too great.
Yeah.
He'll put himself straighter on the 6 now to where if he goes forward he's only going in between. Might be just enough to push the 3 ball over the corner. Just gotta make sure the cue ball doesn't stick there. Oh, he played it even more deliberate, just the shape on the 13 and took the 3 as an extra. As you can see, as long as he gets from the 13 to the 3 ball now, 2 rails, then he can lay himself from the 3 to the 11 and then take another swing at opening the cluster. Not too many backup balls, but I mean, you don't always have the luxury to... Oh. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, unless he's playing shape for the 15 and trying to go into them, but I like the 11. Now the cue ball is going off the 4, pushing the 14 and the 1, the 14 to the bottom and the 1 up. And the cue ball will run into the 12-10. So I would say 3-4 balls are spreading nicely. Just don't hit it too firm to where you can lose the cue ball in the right center or up table.
Yeah, he's frozen, but he has a 1 in the right side pocket here, I think. Or he has maybe the 10 as well, possibly.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the 10. I think 12 is his only shot. It looked to be quite frozen on the 7, especially from this view. So one awkward shot is probably meaning him to get on the 94 mark. Still not out of the woods with the cue ball being on the rail. Might have to try and catch the 4. Top left spin, catch the 4. Guaranteed to be on the 7, 14.
Just covered it, but he does have the 10 ball as a backup. Still needs a bit of a good shot here.
Wasn't trying to catch the 14 thin. Just funny things at times, but cannot really complain. So far, he's been running out for a while.
Yeah, I think you can drop just low enough to go below the 7 Tim and play the stripe. Yeah, plays it well. 8 balls there for a break ball. So he just needs to find a good shot here. I don't know if he can drop this in and play a ball in the side, or will he play a cannon on the 4 ball? Well played. So now it's preference really. We'll go 4-7. Now he's taking another different break ball. He likes to play for the break
things.
a bit wide. I was just going to say he seems to be playing the more wider break balls rather than the ones a bit closer to the stack.
Yeah, I was just going to add, to play Straightpool and have a high run when you're playing well is easy, but when things are not opening up as you want to and the cue ball is coming up off angle, now there's a shot clock being annoying too, that is very tough to do. You know, like he's still managing in some way and he probably even doesn't know how. Like that's still the skill and the knowledge that is basically getting him through this match. Similar angle, not too much angle, just enough to work with, knowing that he's not gonna miss this kind of shot on the 1. And he's on 94, so this ball and 5 more out of the stack to get to the loser qualification tomorrow morning at 9.
Just doing what he needed to do there. He didn't want to put too much into that. There's plenty of balls in the open now. He'll just be looking to pick these off for the final 5 balls that he needs, because he's just potted 1.
Yeah, and especially now the 11 ball goes 6, 13, 2. Doesn't even have to get to the 2 ball, could go to the 3 ball. Yeah, definitely had his opening chance, Yaroslav Polak, after a pretty interesting opening break shot from Mario. But did not manage to run too much. Had a small chance after. So basically within 2 innings got to 18 points. So he will be disappointed about his performance tonight. And it's still the Austrian that has a chance to redeem himself after losing to Felix Vogel earlier. So Mario Hay advances, Polak is out, and we will be back tomorrow morning at 9 AM. So
Yeah. Losers qualification
Graham
tomorrow.
Hickman and Tim de Ruyter are going to bed, I guess.
Yeah, not be long. But thanks for joining us today. We'll see you all tomorrow for the final rundown of the Straightpool event to a conclusion towards tomorrow evening. Thanks again. Thanks, Tim. We will see you again soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.